When you're doing a half leg wax or a full leg wax, again, you've done your consultation, you get your client ready on the bed, prep the skin, make sure there's no products on the area, and again, you're just looking for the direction of hair growth, the strength of the hair growth, you're looking for any contraindications that might not be seen. We've got a few bruises here, but they're not severe bruises, so we're okay to work around these. If your client had a really big bruise that was quite clearly painful, then we'd recommend that they wait until it's healed, because it's just going to be very uncomfortable working over that area. But if we're okay to do that, we'll just grab some pre-wax lotion, clean up the area. Again, if there's any moles or any areas that you want to protect from the wax, just pop a little bit of petroleum jelly on it with a cotton bud, and then just dry off with a tissue so there's no residue on the skin that will stop the wax from sticking. And again, it's advisable to wear your disposable gloves just in case there's any cross-contamination or any secretions on the skin that you don't want to pass on from client to client. So for waxing the leg, you want to load up your spatula and then apply it to the skin, give it a few seconds at a 45-degree angle, and then very gently start to slide the spatula down. And you want the thinnest application possible, and if you get any little drips, then just catch them and add them to the strip that you're going to be doing. So keep it nice and thin. Then grab your wax strip. You want to leave yourself a little edge that you can hold on to. Very gently apply pressure to the area. Apply tension to the skin, pull the skin slightly, remove and then soothe. And the same again, apply some tension and pull to the skin, remove the strip and soothe. And you'll have little odd sticky areas that you can just very gently flick off the skin. And then you can go over an area twice when you're waxing, and if there's any odd hairs left over, then just grab your tweezers, make sure they're nice and clean, and just take each individual hair, and if it can, just very gently release and just take that excess hair onto a bit of cotton wool. You can also use your automatics for this one. So again, grab the hair, use your automatic tweezer, and out it comes. Obviously, if your client had lots of extra hairs here, then it might be that the hairs were just a little bit too short, but once you've worked on the full area, it's normally just little odd hairs here and there. So just working all of your strips down the leg, no more than twice, tweeze any excess out, and then when you're completely finished, your after wax goes onto the area. And here's just an example of what comes out when you actually wax over an area. So you can see all the little hairs are trapped within the wax, and ideally you're looking for hairs that have got a tiny little bulb attached. So these are so fine that you might not see them, but there's a little bulb attached to this one, and there's a little bulb attached to several other ones. So that's ideally what you're looking for. And when you do remove hairs from the root, you've got about 4 to 6 weeks before you need another treatment. When you're waxing the leg can be bent or flat, but when you're waxing the knee, it has to be bent so you can get a good wax over that area. So apply your wax with your spatula, again your 45-degree angle, and you're just very gently manipulating the wax over the knee area. And again, if you get any little thicker patches, then just run over with your spatula and make it the thinnest possible application that you can. So it might take you about 2 or 3 different dips into the wax pot with fresh spatulas each time, just to get that area ready for you. But when you're quite happy that it's nice and thin, then you're just going to apply your wax strip. Again, leave yourself a free edge. Very gently but firmly attach the strip. Pull on the skin with firm tension. Remove and soothe. And again, attach the strip. Tension, remove and soothe. And any little extra bits you can just flick off with your wax strip. And it's a bit too fine to see here. You tend to find that the hairs in that area can be finer, but if we look closely, there's lots of little fine hairs there. And again, no more than twice over the area, and then if you need to, just tweeze individual hairs. So not every client needs toes waxed, so you can ask each client if they do, but if they do have any little hairs there, then you just apply your wax in the direction of the growth, and again the thinnest application possible. and then pop your spatula back or straight into the bin. Just a little inch thick little strip, almost the same as your eyebrow waxing strips. Just a little gentle pressure, tension on the skin, pull, and you can soothe if you need to, but again, any little odd hairs. And we don't have to wax anything here, everything came away. So if you can see, it's very fine hair on that area, but we can see those hairs just on the wax strip. And again, no more than twice on an area, tweeze if you need to, and then soothe with your after wax lotion. When you move to the back of the leg for warm waxing, you'll find that the hair grows slightly differently. So on the front it tends to grow downwards, on the back it grows on an angle, so your wax strips will be tends to be on the angle coming inwards. You don't wax over the popliteal node because you'll cause an instant bruise and it's uncomfortable. And get the base of the ankle done first again, because it tends to be quite a nippy area for a lot of people, so they'd rather get that done first. So applying a strip of wax on the leg, load up your spatula, apply round about this direction. Again, check your individual client, but for most people this is the direction that it tends to move in. Get as thin a strip as possible. And then again, give yourself a free edge to hold on to. Firm pressure. Tension on the skin, remove and soothe. Any little extra areas can just be removed with your wax strip. Again, no more than twice over the area, and tweeze any odd hairs as you need to. Once you're finished, your after wax lotion goes over the full area. Can't really see too much here, but we've got some really fair hairs removed from that strip. Once you've finished your waxing, you're just going to make sure that you're quite happy with the results. Check that there's no contra-actions, and then just apply your after wax lotion and give your client aftercare. Now, it's really normal to see these red dots. That's just because you've taken the hairs out at the root. They'll fade within a few hours and your client's skin should be back to normal within about 12 to 24. So because the hairs have been removed from the root, the skin's going to be sensitised, so you don't want to put perfumed products on, you don't want to have a hot bath or a shower, no sunbathing, no swimming, no heat treatments, because these are all going to irritate the area and it could cause further irritations. So just treat that area very carefully, don't put anything too constricting on, and then within about a day you're back to normal and you can use your products as normal. Especially avoid fake tan immediately after a wax, because you will actually cause these little dots to colour brown, and that could last until the tan fades. So stay away from that until at least 24 hours later. So you've done your half leg wax and now you're moving on to the upper part of the leg. You get clients that will just want the half leg wax, so it will finish just above the knee. You don't really get clients coming in specifically just wanting the top of the leg. The only reason that you might just do the top is if someone's got quite an uneven hair growth and they might be going on holiday and this part might grow in slower than the upper part. So what you would have done is pre-waxed the area, dried it down so there's no surface residue. You're still checking for visual contra-indications. If you need to put any petroleum jelly on any cuts, abrasions, any moles, you can do. And you're just checking the hair growth. So for most people, the hair growth is coming down in straight lines, coming down on the outside, and then it tends to just start to move round slightly here. The other thing that you have to be aware of is that your upper leg does move into the bikini area. So if your client isn't asking for a bikini wax, then you have to say to them that the upper leg wax will stop at a certain area. If they ask you to go higher, then you'll have to price it accordingly. So just make sure that you don't end up doing more of the waxing than they're actually paying you for. So first strip of wax, again, just as usual, you're loading up your spatula, and make sure that you have a wax strip underneath, so if there's any drips, it's on the wax strip and not on the client or on your treatment bed. And again, you're just holding for a second just to allow the wax to start to slide off the spatula, and then you're trying to get the thinnest, longest application that you can. Obviously, as you become more confident, you build up your speed, and you can either do one strip at a time or you can load up the entire leg. So again, get that as thin as you can. And then you're going to attach your wax strip. Make sure that you leave yourself a free edge. hold the area taut and support, and remove. And then you don't have to put your hand down, but it does soothe and deaden the nerve endings, and then you can just flick off any residue. And just remember again that we try not to double dip the spatulas, just to keep in line with health and safety, and absolutely do not re-dip the spatula if there's any blood spotting at all in the area. And just to demonstrate when it starts to curve round, again you'll just follow the direction of the hair growth, which does vary for everyone, but you're just not worrying too much if you can't quite get to the edge, because when you turn your client round, you'll be able to catch any hairs that you couldn't. And remember that you can reuse your wax strip as well, just until you feel that it's no longer comfortable to use. So again, attach onto the skin, make sure it's nice and firm, and you're going to support with one hand, remove, and you can soothe. Again, any residue, just flick off. And to demonstrate how we do the outside, again, you're just allowing the wax just to start to come off the spatula as thin a line as you can. And then ensure that you give yourself your free edge again. Attach firmly. Hold the skin tight. Remove and soothe. And again, any little areas that need to be removed you can do. No more than twice over the area. Any odd hairs can be tweezed, and then what you're going to do is ask the client to turn over, and we'll show you how you would wax the back of the leg. So when you come to the back of the leg, you tend to find that the hair does grow in a slightly different direction. So when we've done the front of the leg, we've tried to get as much of this hair on the outside as we could. You'll soon see when you turn the client over any strips that you couldn't quite reach, and you can grab those much easier now. Then the hair tends to grow in directions which can be sort of coming down diagonally, it can be coming across, and again, any hair that we couldn't catch in here becomes a lot easier to get now. What you want to make sure is though that you don't wax over the back of the knee, which is the popliteal node. That can cause an instant bruise and it's quite uncomfortable. So we're very aware that if there was any hair to be removed there, we would do it with caution and even use our automatic tweezers if we had to. So now we'll show you how to remove these sections of hair. Right, so we've got our wax on our spatula, and we are just, as usual, thinnest application that we possibly can. Thin it out if there are any thicker sections. Then we're going to take our wax strip, and remember you can reuse your wax strip just until you feel that there's enough wax built up on it. For this part, because it's a larger section, it's okay if we haven't covered all of the wax, as long as we leave ourselves a free edge here. So make sure it's attached. We're going to hold the skin taut, remove and soothe, and then we're just moving on to the next part, making sure that it's attached again. Hold taut, remove and soothe. So remember that you're always moving the wax strip along the way and you're not moving up, because if you move it upwards, that can be quite uncomfortable for your client and it could cause a bruise. So we're working on the main hair here, and it's coming round at a slight angle. So if you've got quite a lot on your spatula and you can start to move along and get a nice area done with it, then you can do that. Again, some people feel that they want to cover the entire leg. It's completely up to you. It's obviously going to be a lot quicker if you cover it with wax first and then remove. But while you're learning, just one strip at a time until you build up your confidence. And then we're going to apply our strip again. Make sure it's nice and secure. Hold taut, pull and soothe. Same again. Hold taut, pull and soothe. Remove any little sticky parts, and you'll be able to see if there's any hairs that still have to be removed, any extra wax. So we'll just continue up and finish this last bit here. So again, just to show you how you would deal with the hairs that are coming round at a curve, when we had the client lying in the bed and we were doing the front of the upper leg, we would have grabbed as much as we could here. So now we're just catching the hairs that we couldn't quite reach. So again, they're coming down at this angle, so we want to give ourselves enough space here that we can attach the wax strip and hold the skin taut. And then again, we want to, it's not always easy to soothe it straight away here, so the main concern is to hold the skin taut if you feel that you can't comfortably do it all. and then just remove your stickies again. Like we said before, no more than twice over an area, and if there's odd hairs, you can then begin to tweeze them out. Once we're finished, we're going to after wax the area, turn the client round and just ensure that we're happy with the results, we've not missed any hair, and then we will give our client their home care and their after care advice. And as we're putting on the after wax lotion here, you can see that we've got a normal skin reaction. We've got a slight redness, a slight erythema, and you can see where the hair's removed from the follicles, and you make sure that you give your client the correct aftercare advice, such as avoiding heat treatments, avoiding going swimming, anything that could irritate the follicles. You want to avoid perfumed products, false tan, and any tight clothing in the area. Just again, for the remainder of the day, everything should be back to normal the following day, maybe 48 hours to be careful with the area if it's a very sensitive client, but normally 12 to 24 is adequate.